Welcome to the Dollars and Cents Podcast with Wes the Economist and Jonathan the Conspiracy Theorist, coming to you live from the Wave Beach Realty Studios in North Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. Call us today at 843-957-3872. Are you looking to buy a home in North or South Carolina? You need to reach out to Wave Beach Realty today. We are a family-owned company with over 10 years of experience in North and South Carolina and operate along the Grand Strand. Give us a call today at 843-957-3872. That's 843-957-3872.
This part of the show is brought to you by Clark Financial Coaching. Reach out to us at coachwesc@gmail.com. That's coachwesc@gmail.com to get a free consultation to help you get your financial picture in focus.
All right, guys, welcome back into the newest episode of our Quick Clips. Joining you live, Wes is in the Keys. I am sitting here in Myrtle Beach.
Southern Florida.
Southern Florida, yeah.
Yeah,
So
I couldn't afford to go to the Keys if I had to. You know how much it is to stay down there right now? My gracious.
I've heard it's outrageous. Yeah, that's probably why I haven't been. That actually kind of explains that for you there. Anyway, welcome back in episode 12 Dollars and Cents Podcast. I'm Jonathan, the Conspiracy Theorist, as usual. Wes, the Economist, across the board for me here. And we're going to continue kind of the same topic as our last episode of the Quick Clips 11 and talk more about, financial stuff. I know you wanted to ask me some questions about the real estate market across the board, the financial aspect, because we're talking about finances and credit scores and all that good stuff. So, so I guess we'll get right into it.
It's obviously there's a lot of people feeling better about the economy because of Trump. Though I have talked to people down here that are literally scared that Trump's in office. I've had some interesting conversations with some, I wouldn't call them liberals. I guess I'd call them more like a libertarian, but they're scared of Trump becoming like Hitler or Chavez. And it was good because the people, especially this one person I was talking to, they were really receptive to have a conversation and not just cut things off. And I listened to them; they listened to me. Yeah, and we had a great conversation about it. And at the end of the day, though, it was not about policy; it was about his demeanor. Literally, one person told me his demeanor is just like Chavez. I followed Chavez, and I know what he was like, and Trump's just like him. But I pointed out that Chavez's policies, though, led the government to take over more things, and Trump's policy is trying to get the government out of stuff.
Right.
But if you don't look at that stuff, it kind of doesn't make sense. So we'll see where that heads. But with everybody being so much more upbeat about the economy, and you're saying you're already seeing it in Myrtle Beach with the pickup of single family homes. So my question is, as bad economic shape we've been in the last 4 years, how is that affecting you able to close on houses? And you can't go into details, and I don't want you to, about individuals. But in general, what are you seeing the credit shape, the credit scores, and all people you're dealing with?
So one thing about the Myrtle Beach market that keeps us pretty consistent across the board, and I wouldn't say that we're like immune to the market because we're not, but what keeps us rolling at a substantial or a consistent pace rather is the fact that it's mainly retirees moving here. So they're a little more immune to the ups and downs of the market, and they've spent their life building their credit, building their savings. They're selling properties that are twice the amount up north that they're buying here. So they're downsizing. They're not upsizing, so they're not having to get approved for more money. One, a lot of them are cash. So I'd say about half of my clients moving here are cash. So they're selling home, they're moved down here in cash, and they don't have anything to worry about. They don't care if rates are 10%, it's cash. It's, and they're living cheaper. Their taxes are cheaper. They're out of the cold climates. Other than maybe insurance, because we're in a coastal area, everything else is cheaper here. So with the ones that are financing, I'll say, the rates, were a little rough. The past 5 or 6 weeks, they've been consistently going down, not at a huge pace, but a little bit here and there. I think last week was like the 5th or 6th consecutive week they had at least dropped a little bit. I don't anticipate seeing 2, 3, or even 4% interest rates anytime soon. I think, we could probably accept like a 5.5% as a standard probably in the foreseeable future, which I think if you look historically is still better than the norm.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah. So overall, I think the inflation of home prices is what scared people, and they're looking at interest rates to justify those prices. But I think you're starting to see a market correction where the price of homes is going down. There's more inventory, there's more building, which also creates more inventory, and demand is staying kind of steady and not going up or down. So even though you've got a curve of building going up like this, the it's just a consistent across the board of buyer activity. So you're slowly getting a little bit more and more inventory, and basic supply and demand. You can tell everybody better than I can,
You
right?
need to cross those at some point, but just go ahead.
Yeah, yeah, well, yeah, at some point, yeah, yeah. But for now, it seems to be that the amount of properties hitting the market is on an incline, and right now, buyer activity is on a just kind of a steady
Yeah.
stream, and it's not really going up. But as we
So
move into
switch
the
that into a demand supply curve situation. As supply increases, it drives prices down. So if demand stays constant, then you would expect prices to eventually start to ease their way down. Though we say, from a macro sense, if you're a Keynesian economist, so I won't get too deep into the terminology, but they say that prices are sticky downward. In other words, they take a long time to move down. They'll take a long time to move up. They go up quickly, but they
yeah.
stick coming down. So, but if this continues the way you're saying it, I would expect home prices to start inching down, wouldn't you?
So they did take a big jump after rates initially went from those that 3% to like 7. They initially did take a big jump. Like at one point, I have a property that was worth about 300,000, and right now it's probably worth about 260. The same property.
Oh,
Um,
okay.
so there was a big dip right after the rates went up, and then what I noticed is a lot of sellers wanted to keep trying to get those top tier prices, and nobody was looking at their properties. So you start saw them dropping their prices down, 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 especially resales, because they're having to compete now with new construction, because a lot of people are moving here and buying the new construction homes. So I would say that the prices have already gone down some. I think inventory has gone up, not prices. So right now, you'll even see the new construction homes. A lot of the builders, you'll see overnight, they'll drop $10,000, $15,000 just to move the inventory so they can keep on building. So I do anticipate the rest of the year to see prices move downward a little bit, or either stay stagnant. But I do not see an increase in housing prices in the foreseeable future. I don't see them going up at all right now.
Good. That's good news.
Yeah, it's good. We don't need, they went up enough over that right after COVID. They had their inflation. I
Yeah.
think the rates going up and everything actually did what it was intended to do, and curbed the housing market from getting way out of hand. It was a fun run as a real estate agent. It was a fun 2 years, but I didn't want to see that continue. Even if it cost me business and income, it needed to stop, because it was going to end up a lot worse than where we are right now. It could have been a lot worse. So yeah, so I'm happy with where the market is right now. Again, I don't think rates will go to 2 and 3% again, and I really don't think that needs to happen. I think that would be
Uh,
bad.
I think it would be too. The reason they were so low is because the Fed kept the federal funds rate too low for too long. And
Yes.
that played into inflation. That played into a lot of the stuff that happened during COVID. COVID was the catalyst, but a lot of the foundations of our economics were faltered. So we had issues because of that. So hopefully the
Yeah.
Federal Reserve has learned the lesson, but I don't know. Nobody in Washington seems to learn their lessons.
No, it seems that way. While I'm thinking about it, though, speaking of like the government, what's going on? Obviously, I've touched on the housing market. How do you think the current tariffs and everything are going to affect just the market in general? I know you're not a tariff guy.
No, I'm
There
definitely
are
not a tariff guy.
right.
Um, I could see it pushing prices up some in the short run. It's not going to push them up 25% because some of that will be eaten by the companies and the elasticity. In other words, how much people change their consumption based on price changes will play into each item we're talking about. But at the end of the day, he's trying to get these companies to come here and build, and a bunch of them are. But you
Yeah.
also got to think that's going to take the price up because labor costs here are higher.
Right.
So, but if we get salaries up, that offsets it. In a perfect world, I would love to see no tariffs and no all free trade. But as I've started looking in this in the last month, as everybody's gone crazy about the tariffs, and sometimes I do some interviews with one of the local TV stations. So she's the reporter I work with has been trying to get a tariff angle. So I've been doing a lot of research on tariffs, and I knew we were not treated fairly in other countries, but I did not realize how bad it was. We've
Mm.
just since the '80s have just kind of taken whatever anybody said and just lived with it because we're so big and so much more advanced than they are. But Trump's got a point. We've got some issues that we're letting countries come in here and not charging them much to bring their goods in, but it's not reciprocal that we are not allowed to go to their country.
Yeah.
Canada is one. I mean, Canada, you have to hit a certain amount of dairy products, but then we have dairy tariffs after we hit so many tons of milk or whatever that over that is like 280% tariff, literally. So our farmers are not basically not allowed to access that market after a certain level during the
Yeah,
year.
which is crazy. Yeah, it's so I mean, I think it's good that they want to bring more jobs and everything here. I know that there's going to be probably a growing period or a rough patch there when you're implementing that and more jobs are coming back and more factories and stuff are coming here. I know obviously prices of things will go up, but then like you said, if salaries go up to offset that and people have more money in their pockets, I guess there's a fine level where that kind of evens itself out. There's a happy
Yeah,
medium there.
yeah. So
Um,
it gets pretty complicated when you start looking at it, and you have to look at it more deeply to understand what's going on. Unlike our news cycle, which if it's not a 15-second news bite, nobody pays attention.
Yeah, I couldn't tell
But
you the last time I turned on the news. I try to just I can try to get my news about the economy from you, and then I watch the real estate market daily, and that's how I make my life and death decisions every day.
oh, cool. Yeah, I don't think I didn't get but one question, but that was enough to get us through this quick clip.
Yep,
We can do it with the next one or move on another subject, but we're over 10 minutes already. So
yep,
I guess we'll end this one up.
yeah. We'll wrap this one up, guys. Let us know if you have any questions or anything about the economy or the real estate market, and we'll see you on the next episode of Quick Clips.
Mortgage payments, insurance payments, credit card payments, they can be very overwhelming. Are you ready to take the time to get things under control? Then reach out to me at Clark Financial Coaching to see if we can get you started with a budget and then a vision for the future. Write me at coachwesc@gmail.com. That's coachwesc@gmail.com.
When life gets unpredictable, turn to a partner you can trust. At Bobby Clary State Farm, we've got you covered. Whether it's home, auto, or life insurance, we're dedicated to providing personalized coverage that fits your needs. With our friendly and knowledgeable team, navigating your insurance options have never been easier. Visit bobbyclary.com or call 843-438-6000. Bobby Clary State Farm, here to help life go right.
Eisenhower Dental, located at 107 Waccamaw Medical Park Drive in Conway, a place where you can find all your dental services, including general dentistry, cosmetic, restorative, and pediatric dentistry. Reach out to them today at their website, eisenhowerdental.com, or call them at 843-234-3110, 843-234-3110, and tell them Wes the Economist sent you.
Thanks for listening to the Dollars and Cents Podcast with Jonathan the Conspiracy Theorist and Wes the Economist. Don't forget to follow us on Instagram and X at DollarsCentsGS and on Facebook at Dollars and Cents.